The Aramaic Bible. In English, Joshua chapter 4. And when all the people had finished passing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Take 12 men from the people, a man out of every tribe, and command them, saying, Take from here out of the midst of the Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood, 12 stones, and you shall carry them over with you, and lay them in the lodging place where you lodge this night." Then Joshua called the 12 men who were selected from the children of Israel out of each tribe, a man. And Joshua said to them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and take up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask you in the time to come, saying, What is the meaning of these stones? Then you shall tell them, The waters of the Jordan were divided before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When we passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were divided, and these stones shall be for a memorial to the children of Israel forever. And the children of Israel did as Joshua commanded them, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of the Jordan, as the Lord said to Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them to the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And they set up the 12 stones which they had taken out of the midst of the Jordan, where stood the feet of the priests who were bearing the ark of the covenant, and they are there to this day. And the priests who bore the ark stood in the midst of the Jordan until everything was finished. That the Lord commanded Joshua to tell to the people, according to all that Moses had commanded Joshua. And the people made haste and passed over. And when all the people had finished passing over, the ark of the Lord and the priests passed over before the people. Then the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh passed over, armed before the children of Israel, as Moses had told them. About 40,000 men armed for war passed over before the Lord to battle to the plains of Jericho. On that very day, the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they had feared Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord said to Joshua, Command the priests who bear the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come up out of the Jordan. And when the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord had come up out of the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet rested on firm, dry land, the waters of the Jordan rushed to their place and overflowed all its banks as they did before. And the people came up out of the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month and encamped in Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of the Jordan, Joshua set up at Gilgal. And he said to the children of Israel, When your children shall ask you in time to come, saying, What is the meaning of these stones? Then you shall explain them to your children and say to them, The children of Israel crossed this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan from before them until they passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us until we passed over, so that all the peoples of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, and that you may worship the Lord your God forever. The Aramaic Bible in English, Joshua chapter 5. And when all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites who were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan from before the children of Israel until they had passed over, their hearts trembled, and there was no strength left in them because of the children of Israel. At the time, the Lord said to Joshua, "Make for yourself a flint knife and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time." So Joshua made a flint knife for himself and circumcised the children of Israel the second time at the hill of the uncircumcised. And these are the men whom Joshua did circumcise, every male child who had been born after they had come out of Egypt, because all the men of war had died in the wilderness on the journey after they came out of Egypt, because all the people who came out had been circumcised. But all the people that were born in the wilderness during the journey after they came out of Egypt had not been circumcised. For the children of Israel journeyed 40 years in the wilderness until all the people who were men of war and came out of Egypt had perished, because they did not obey the voice of the Lord, to whom the Lord had sworn that he would not show them the land which he had sworn to their fathers, that he would give them, a land that flows with milk and honey. And it was their children who came after them that Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not been circumcised on the journey. And when all the people were circumcised, they remained in their places in the camp till they were healed. And the Lord said to Joshua, "This day I have taken away the reproach of the Egyptians from you." Wherefore, the name of that place is called Gilgal to this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at evening in the plain of Jericho. And they ate from the grain of the land on the morrow after the Passover. Unleavened bread and parched wheat did they eat on that very day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the grain of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the produce of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass, when Joshua was in the plain of Jericho, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, "Are you one of us, or of our enemies?" And he said to him, "I am the commander of the host of the Lord, and now I have come here." And Joshua fell upon his face to the earth and worshipped and said, "What hath my Lord to say to his servant?" And the commander of the Lord's host said to Joshua, "Take your shoes from off your feet, for the place whereon you stand is holy." And Joshua did so.